Hey people, I'm live and kicking. But I'm live now. I'm swag, got all my swag ready. No, I'm actually talking about swag in my newest job. I'm going to talk about what it is, what we learned when we were young. And actually, I'm going to talk about my first time when I visited the land. I got very um, it was a very new thing for me to see what was going on over the pond. You know what I mean? And it's not that it was a total mind blower, not at all. Sorry, it's morning in Denmark. You just have your shit done. Oh man! But again, I was very young, very young. I was ready to go on a big trip. My family was driving me to the what do you call it, destination where I had to take the plane. And when I got to the destination in Hamburg, Germany, uh, big airport, not by. If you think about it as like in Danish, if you thought about it like it was a Danish airport, it would be totally different because the thing is with an airport that big in Hamburg, and you got to remember, I'm still in Hamburg, Germany. I'm not that old. I'm very young. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I'm very young. But I'm going to tell you the age. You're going to say, how could they do this, his parents and shit like that? I've heard it many times before, but I don't care because I had the best parents anybody can get. You know what I mean? And I know you like the drama. I know you like the Cavalli kids, the doses, all that shit. But you know what it is? It's a big fucking air balloon ready to be blown away from a big fart ready to be fucking shit. You know, it's bullshit what they talk about. Kwame Brown, be real, be solid, be gangster, be blood. Do you know what blood stands for? I know you should, Chris. You fuck with it. And you know, all these Latin kings, all these big groups, big crews, big gangs, call them what the fuck you want. Because funny enough, you know, when we were young, we read about the Zulu Nation in a totally other way than I'm hearing Poppy talking about them. Now it's like almost a sex ring or something sick like that. What the fuck is happening to the real shit? You know, we thought hip hop was a real thing because it was like it was not fucking with Poppy. Hassan Campbell. What the fuck? I never knew who the fuck he was. And I was in the Zulu Nation. You see, sometimes it is what you put into the stuff you go into. It's like I'm laughing when I'm hearing like these. I'm not laughing about the molestation, not at all. Because sometimes he tried to molest me when I was a kid. It was not Bombada, even I stood very close to him. And I was what they called a very pretty boy. You see, I have heard sick people talk about me before. I have tried, you know, being in the fucking swimming, in the swimming area, swimming pools. We had our, the swimming pools that are kind of free for people to go in the middle of town, big pool, cost nothing to get in, with a lot of you know, towers to spring from, to jump from. But what I do think about this, that Zulu Nation is suddenly a gang. Uh, what? When I was young, Zulu Nation was the opposite. It was against gangs. It was listening to the new creator who was Africa Bambaataa. He had the wise words, but we still had, all the other stars. Grandmaster Melly Mel, Grandmaster Flash were already, doing his own thing. So they took the Grandmaster and put Melly Mel in there. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? But you see, Rapper's Delight was a hit, but I always felt kind of the bass is so funky. It's what bass groove it is, what bass line it is. So it's not that much. There's been many, many good samples since. Uh, not to say Dr. Dre got his number like nothing but a G thing, baby. He got it like served for him with that fucking nice old school. What is it, Bobby? No, Colin? No. Can't even remember who the fuck it is. But well, I'm slipping and I'm slipping and I'm cripping and I'm cripping and I'm creeping. It's like the new hip hop. I was talking about my brother in the 80s, 1986. Well, my big trip. I was down in Hamburg. I was going out on a plane, a jumbo jet back then. It was huge. It was 1984. So a jumbo jet. I was getting in there. I was fucking 13 years of age. Listen, I was going alone by my lonesome to New York City at the age of 13. I don't know who ever did that. Any of you ever took a trip over the pond when you was like kids? I doubt it. You see, I literally know there's people in the United States who have been in like two states. It's kind of funny when you talk about Europe as such a small place. It is small compared to the United States, but it's not a small country uh, by far. It's a small country, but what I mean is Europe is almost one. But what I also do mean with that is Europe, when you see it, It's like when you see Greenland on the on the scale. It looks like nothing. It really don't. But it's bigger than just. It's because it's like going down, all the way down to Sicily, Italy, all these places. But when I landed in the United States, I found out that because I was traveling through New York to Nashville, and I found out that it looked the same, not the same, but it was the same buses, it was the same aeroplanes, it was the same, it was the same country, goddamn, even though it was huge as a motherfucker. So I landed there in Kennedy Airport. I was 13 years of age. 13. I landed there, and I'm not a hood motherfucker. Back then, I was a kid, but I was from the hood. I was used to the hood. I was not born in the hood. I'm a lucky kid. I was one of the lucky ones. God, a lot of love and a lot of uh, materialistic things. That's why maybe I don't love the materialistic things that much anymore. I really don't. But it is what it is. I landed and I was intrigued by all this big, huge motherfucking country. So I I was like, ooh, this is big. And the airport was so big that I was like, what the fuck? But I've been, the actually the what's his name, Gerard something, in Paris. Actually, that is big. It's a big airport. I think it's the biggest in the world, actually. One of the biggest in the world, or one of the most busy. It's so busy, it's ridiculous. But Paris is a it's a very big point in Europe. Of course, it is like Berlin and like Copenhagen and like a lot of countries. You know, Rome, a lot of cities. Sorry, Barcelona, Madrid, Milan. There's a lot. Cannes, Monaco. There's a lot. So, but it is what it is. But again, being in a country that's so huge, as one country, you see, when you're in Europe, when you go over the border, it looks different, it is different, it tastes different, and it smells different. That's not even over exaggerated. It is what it is. It is it's a whole different area, Europe, if you go to another country. In the United States, you can travel and travel and travel, and you can feel it's the United States. That's what I like about it, you know. But I didn't vote for the EU. I did not. I must admit that. Because Doc said something funny yesterday that our money wasn't worth that much. No, it is, but it's just another system. You know, $1 is just 5.5 crowns. That's not being a shitty a shitty. We could just say 7.5 chrome was $1. It would cost the same. You know what I mean? Prices wouldn't be. A pack of cigarette would cost $9, $10. And I heard that's what it costs in the United States. Uh, let's say it's a liter of milk. That would be under $1. About $1. Maybe cheaper. I don't know. About $1. Let's say that. Gasoline. That's another thing, because there you are you have some good. We pay a lot of taxes and shit in our gasoline. So, and our cigarettes too. But you do too, apparently. What we're doing is our crown is actually strong. Remember, we could have euros now that would be worth more than your dollar, but it's not the way we want. I want to have my country. I'm used to the crown. I'm proud when I take a crown, some small change up, and there's a picture of my queen. I'm proud, like you're proud of your presidents. I'm proud of my queen. Uh, I only been living while actually I was living while there was a king, but my lifetime has been with the queen. Let me be honest. To have a monarchy, it's beautiful, but to see your love for the president was very inspirational. You see, when I landed in New York, there was a rally for Reagan. And I remember the security and all that shit. I never saw anything like it. But what a lot of people don't know is I took a little trip when I was in New York. Uh-huh. I do not talk about that much because it was something I did because I had some time to spare. And I never told my mom and dad because they would have been so sad about it. Because I was a white kid. And when I was 13, I was with the wrong crowd. Let me be honest, that was. So I did a lot of fuck shit when I was in New York City. Of course, I could not go to bars and shit, but I could go to like Times Square, see some b-boying. Back then, there was b-boying there all the time. The Rock City Crew and New York City Breakers. New York, Rock City Crew were kind of famous, so it's more. It was more than New York City Breakers, and that didn't, it didn't matter because New York City Breakers was much more like acrobatic. Like Rock City was more stylish. They had more style. They were like literally the Zulu Nation's dancers. It still is to this day. And you can see Crazy Lexi's. He's giving the torch, or African Mabata is giving the torch on to Lex. Mr. Crazy Legs is in a sex scandal right now. What is it with these old b-boys and these hip hop figures? And to call R. Kelly hip hop, that's something I never would do. I don't give a fuck about R&B and how they look at it. It's not hip hop. For me, it's not. Mary J. Blige is hip hop because she looks hip hop. She is hip hop. She breathes hip hop. You know. But to call all that R&B, I remember I was to a concert. I was to Fresco Festival. And I saw Force MDs, and I was like, "That's not hip hop. What the fuck?" And then I remember Michael Boogaloo Shrimp Chambers. He came in and danced for us on the Sylvester Festival in fucking Nashville. And it was a blast because there was all these people, jamming, dancing. And I remember one thing, and people can say they're like, it's, call it don't matter and shit like that. But in '84, it was not very common that a young white boy was to a fucking Fresh Festival party when he was like 13. Well, I was 14 while I was there. No, I became 14 when I went home. I was not there for that long the first time. But again, sorry, I have to cough. It's funny. If I just took a lot of different famous names, put it in my comment section, talked about all the fake shit and the fuck shit and agents and frauds. How can you literally think, okay, we'll listen to a man we think is solid. We call him in all kind of good things. He turned out to be something different. Um, then there is all this shit with young girls. Well, if it had been in Denmark, it would have been shut down already because it's such a small country. It's like, okay, if it wasn't Copenhagen, maybe you would not go there because that's too far. But I mean, like, if people is being stupid and you portray them in the media, if they're doing fuck shit, like a guy like KK would never stand a chance here. And I'm not trying to talk a lot of shit about people. I'm just saying how it is to live in a small country living in the United States. And that was my first travel. Big travel, huge travel was to the United States of America. That's why I'm comparing. I'm not comparing like Denmark to United States in a way. I'm comparing like Europe in a way. Because, it's like the same, almost. The same rules, almost the same taste, almost. Not the same taste, sorry. Almost the same people, almost. But here, when you go south, you go to Italy. It's a different language. It's not like you. It's the same language wherever the fuck you go. You see, I need to go like 1 hour from here. They speak a totally other language. Totally. You see, you literally have to go to Mexico to hear another language. I know you got a lot of a big population of Spanish speaking people, but that's just beautiful. Spanish is a wonderful country, wonderful language, wonderful people. And I must admit, my friend, he went to Mexico City. He said, "Mas, it's not nothing for you. It's too big. It's too hardcore. It's too." He just said it wasn't for me. And I have my doubts if he was truthful or not. But I can see there's not a lot of motherfuckers who want to swing with me tonight. Uh, if it got anything to do with that dose, motherfucker, factual, Chris, if you got anything to do with this, saying that people shouldn't listen to me or something like that, because you see, I always had a certain person coming, showing me love. I know she's big on him, and I think it's sad when if people are being told where to go. See, docs don't even because apparently there was a big falling out with Pops and these people, and they said to me that I held Pops in high regards, and Pops with me in high regards. That's the truth, because me and Pops, we talked about, I could hear when I hear Doc go in on his past. He had kind of the same past as me, uh, being young, couch surfing a little for fun, not for fun, doing it for fun, living in the house, coming in the house with people that's fucked up crazy like I did. If I had to translate the house we banged in, it was called the Crazy House, the house of the crazies. It was insane. We made, back then I was crook. I was a fucking gangbanger, and we were living in a house together. You know what we did? I'm gonna tell you an awful story about me. What we did was we didn't give a fuck about people who lived there. Not a flying fuck. So if people that were like being too drunk, we just went in there and said, "Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here now!" And then we just gave them some, we just was adjusting give them some adjusting hits. Sorry, I'm saying it's so cold, but it was cold as fuck. It was cold as fuck. But I'll go now because nobody's here, nobody's riding with me. That's okay, man. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm saying that sometimes. I won't do it for you. Then I would schedule it. I would do it something. I wouldn't go around. I wouldn't. You know what I mean? Peace and prosperity.